WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by First Southern Bank. Also brought to you by Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, Murphy Builder Supply, and O'Quinn & Associates.
Hi, I'm Mandy Yeomans.
And I'm Raymond Brown with First Southern Bank. As your locally owned community bank, we're here to help our community grow. Our customers are why we are here. You can tell we want your business.
We offer all types of deposit products, personal and business. We have fast, efficient service, and yes, we have online banking too. I'm sure we have an account to fit your needs. Stop by or call us at 912-588-1010 and see how First Southern Bank can help you.
For FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings in Wayne County is a popular thing. To dine in or take out for one delicious meal, and with the low great prices, it's simply a steal. Famous for their variety of sauces, mild, wild, insane, or inferno. When it's time to eat lunch or dinner, Damon's Restaurant, the place to go. Located in the middle of town on West Cherry Street, yes, Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings simply can't be beat. So next time you're hungry and looking for a great meal, head to Damon's Restaurant and enjoy a great deal. The number to call is easy, 588-WING, 588-9464, the real thing. Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings. Those chicken wings are a very popular thing.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
Hi, Wayne and surrounding counties. This is Sean O'Quinn with O'Quinn & Associates. The one constant in life is change. Throughout our lives, we will go down roads that we never imagined. I have decided that it is time for me to make a change. I have decided to start my own independent insurance agency. What does this mean for you? Better rates and multiple companies. Give us a call at our new number, 912-385-1000, or stop by and see us. We are still at 212 South 1st Street, and we look forward to serving you.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
All right, world-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO. Got a couple of guests this morning. We have on the phone with us right now Congressman Buddy Carter, and we got someone in the green room ready to come on after he's through. And I'm going to let Bob take it away. Bob.
Okay, we got our weekly talk with Congressman Buddy Carter. Buddy, I know you first want to talk about the baby formula shortage, so we'll start with that. Where do we stand on that, and when will people see baby formula back on the shelves?
Well, first of all, this is, as you can imagine, a very serious problem. Now, we did have a bill that we voted on this week. Speaker Pelosi dumped it on us, literally, on Tuesday, and no Republicans voted for it. It did pass the House. It's not going to pass the Senate. It does nothing more than just throw money at the problem. It's a typical Democratic response, and that is throw money at it. And oh, by the way, the more money you throw at it, the more you care. But what needs to be done, the FDA does not need more money. What they need is more accountability. That's what they need. And we've got bills out there that will help us do this, that will help us get infant formula back on the shelf. For instance, I've got a bill, Babies Need Formula Now Act. It increases the supply immediately, immediately of baby formula, of infant formula, by taking down the barriers that exist for innovation, but most importantly, by lifting the restrictions on the imports of infant formula. We had a call in the office earlier this week from a mother who was traveling back from Europe who was trying to bring infant formula back with her. It was confiscated. Well, that's what we need to do. We've got a large supply of infant formula in Europe right now that could come right over here to the United States if we would just lift the restrictions. This would give us immediate relief. But what we need is an Operation Warp Speed for infant formula. And now the FDA has reached an agreement with one of the manufacturers to open up a plant that was closed in Michigan. That will help, and that'll give us some relief too. But right now, 43% of all the infant formula that we normally have is out of stock. And that's just, and this is not something that just happened overnight. This is something that's been building up for quite a while now.
Another issue that people are dealing with is the pain at the pump. Gas prices continue to go up. Reports state that by July we're going to see $6 per gallon. What can Congress do to help give us some relief on that?
Well, the first thing we can do is flip the switch and start back with American energy independence. Look, oil companies work in a futures market. If they don't see an investment in energy infrastructure, then they're not going to invest. And that's what has happened here. Day one, Joe Biden stopped the construction of the Keystone XL pipeline. Not only did that kill tens of thousands of jobs, but it also sent a message to the fossil fuel industry that this administration was going to essentially declare war on fossil fuels, and that's what they've done. Right now, what we need to do is we need to start the Keystone XL pipeline back. We need to start the permitting back on federal land. That would help. Just last week, the administration stopped permits in Alaska and in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, those permits need to be started back up. And they will argue, there's 9,000 unused permits out there now. That is so misleading, and they know it's misleading. They know it's not accurate because those permits, first of all, they may be for a small tract that they can't get the regulations, the local regulations, and get past those. So that's so misleading. But this is something that, the Democrats and the Biden administration actually want this to happen because they want you to buy an electric vehicle. They want the price of gas to get so high that people will buy electric vehicles. Well, look, who can afford a $40,000, $60,000 electric vehicle? Most people can't. And who is this impacting the most, the increase in price of gasoline? It's impacting the working class and the middle class the most. We had a call in the office a couple of weeks ago from a single mother, who called and said, look, I can't afford to put gasoline in my car to get to work, but I can't afford not to go to work. What am I going to do?
If you're just joining us on the phone with us, Congressman Buddy Carter, about the situation in Ukraine. It's been going on now for a long time. The question everybody asks, how long is it going to go on? What's the conclusion going to be? How much money we're going to spend? How much aid we're going to give? That continues. I saw another $40 billion package voted on yesterday. So how much money do we pump into this, and where is this going to end, and how's it going to end? What's the conclusion?
Well, I wish I had a crystal ball to tell you that. It looks like this could last for quite some time. It really depends. Vladimir Putin is wounded right now, and I hesitate to think what he may do when he's wounded like this. But kudos to the Ukrainians. They have put up what no one believed that they could do, the kind of fight that they have. And we need to make sure that we support them with the weapons that they need. That's much better than us having troops and boots on the ground and troops over there. We don't want that. But we don't want Russia to be successful here because that would send a message to the rest of the world. So we need to do whatever we can to make sure that Ukrainians have the weapons that they need in order to win this war. Now, actually, this has ended up, as you saw yesterday, with Finland and Sweden wanting to join NATO now. This is a good thing. Now, they need to come in and they need to adhere to the agreement that they're going to spend 2% of their gross domestic product on defense. That's going to be very important. Who is NATO? NATO is essentially the United States right now, and that's why when President Trump was in office, he made the point that you guys have got to do your part too. We need to see that you're spending at least 2% of your GDP toward defense. That's very important. But we cannot afford to let Ukraine lose this war. That would be the worst thing that could happen. Now, that $40 billion that was sent to Ukraine that passed the Senate now is going to be sent over there. Keep in mind that half of that is actually for the United States. That is for us to replenish our Stingers and Javelins that we have sent over there, as well as to help pay our troops that are over there right now. So it's a little misleading to say it's $40 billion. Actually, about $20 billion of it actually is for our own troops.
Any good news out there, buddy? What about this plant that's going to be opened up in Elabella, Georgia? What do you know about that near Savannah in your neck of the woods?
Well, we'll find out. We're headed that way this afternoon. We're on our way right now to Brunswick. Herschel's having an event down here this morning. And then we'll be back in Savannah for lunch, and then we'll be in Bryan County this afternoon for the big announcement. This is, from what we understand, going to be the biggest project ever in the state of Georgia, and right here in the 1st Congressional District. So we're very excited about it. Looking forward to the announcement this afternoon.
Okay. Anything else we need to know? Like I said, you asked for the time. I think there's one other topic I may have missed. Your press guy.
Well, certainly,
some kind of bill that's going to be voted on or something.
Well, we talked about the pain at the pump, and that is that inflation right now is the big thing. People are hurting. I mean, prices are just escalating, and even at the grocery store. And Bob, you and Butch, and your listeners, you've witnessed that. You experienced that. And people ask me, well, why is the price of gas got anything to do with the price of groceries? Well, keep in mind, first of all, that that fertilizer is petroleum based. You got diesel fuel that has essentially doubled in price since Biden took office. It's doubled in price. All of that is adding to the price of produce and of groceries. Well, we've had farmers. I've had farmers right there in Wayne County who have called me and said, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to plant a crop this year or not. I can't afford fertilizer. I can't afford diesel fuel. This is really the inflation that is taking place. And keep in mind that when Joe Biden took office, inflation was at 1.7%. Now it's at 8.5%. It ticked down just a little bit last month to 8.3%. But now the price of gas is going even further up. This is just ludicrous what's going on here.
Okay, buddy. Always good to see you. Tell Herschel we said hey. He continues to win. He continues to win or lead in the polls. Tuesday's primary day, so that'll be interesting how it all turns out. I'm kind of curious. Statewide, it seems like the early voting has been record numbers, but for some reason it's been kind of slow here in Wayne County. Have you checked the rest of the district? Is it slow anywhere you know about, or is it just booming across the state as we've been reporting?
No, what we're hearing is what you just indicated, and that is that particularly on the Republican side, that we have had a record turnout, and I'm so encouraged to hear that. I think we learned some important lessons in January of last year when we had the senatorial runoff, and that is that you got to get out and vote. We all understand how important that is now.
Okay, buddy. Again, appreciate you being here on the show. Look forward to seeing you in person, and have fun today at all those events.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks for calling in, buddy. All right, Congressman Buddy Carter here on Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup. Well, we've got a guest in the green room. We'll have more of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show in a moment.
Here's your WIFO forecast. Happy weekend, mostly sunny, slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, southwest winds gusting to 20, high mid-90s. Then partly cloudy, becoming mostly cloudy, upper 60s for tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, chance of showers and thunderstorms early, then showers and thunderstorms likely in the afternoon, highs in the upper 80s. Georgia Chief Meteorologist John Weatherby in the Georgia 811 Weather Center. Contact 811 before you dig.
Take a step forward in the right direction with a new career. Contact us here at Jessup Broadcasting about our current openings for account executives, full-time or part-time. You will be trained to offer local businesses effective radio and digital advertising and marketing solutions. You will earn salary plus commission. Call or text to set up an interview at 912-427-3711. 912-427-3711. Call weekdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and ask for Mr. Hubbard. Text us anytime. You can also send resumes to cwhubbard@bellsouth.net. cwhubbard@bellsouth.net. Begin a new and rewarding career with WIFO and WLOP Radio. Jessup Broadcasting, an equal opportunity employer. We look forward to hearing from you. WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, world famous Butch and Bob Show here for this Friday morning, 20th day, or 19th, is it 20th? 20th day of May. And Bob, who do we have as a guest this morning here?
Dennis Grantham called and wanted to get on the Butch and Bob Show, I think, he's always supporting the veterans, events coming up, the holidays. So, Dennis, why are you here?
I'm here to more or less update a little bit about the Veterans Memorial Wall that I don't think has been updated correctly. I stay in touch with these gentlemen that I actually hired them myself to build this memorial wall, affordable memorial wall company in Waycross. And all the granite is there. It has been there for 6 months. And it's all engraved. All the names are engraved. It's not exactly what I had planned, but it's there. It's better than what was at Bill Morris Park. But, you know, some of the names, people are going to be a little upset, and I hate to say anything against the committee, but, you know, I try to inform them the information I had and give it to them where they could run with it. You know, I started this, as you know, back in 2018, but I was criticized by the VFW and American Legion throughout my ordeal trying to get permission to build this wall at a couple of different locations. And then when I finally did, the first committee meeting that we had was in April last year, 2021. And I went to the committee meeting that me and Mike Roberts and Joe Roddy formed ourselves. But when I got there, I got a text from my sister saying something had happened to my son. So I told Alan Brown, I shook his hand, I told him I had to go, something's happened to my son, and I told him to carry on and get this project done. And that was the last thing I said to them. So after that, my son had passed away, so I couldn't attend the meeting. And I helped Joe and Mike create that memorial wall. In fact, Mike tried to get in touch with the American Legion in the January of 2021 and the VFW to meet me and Joe and Mike in the memorial company at the hospital where I had requested through Joe Roddy. He gave me permission in 2019, and the county commissioners also gave me permission. I think you might have been there to build the wall out there or at J.C. Hill. But a couple of the VFW guys asked me to go look at the grounds of the hospital, and I did. And when Joe gave me that permission to build that wall out there and told me he would keep up the grounds, that's all he wanted to do was make sure the grounds were kept up. And he's kept his end of the deal, too. Joe's done more than what he ever said, because I asked him to be part of the committee to start with. He was probably the number 3 person with that committee. And he said he didn't really want to be involved, but he'd keep up the grounds. I said, well, Joe, we need somebody with some integrity that can help us with this and write the checks to the memorial company or whatever needs to be done. Need 2 people on the checking account at Prime South. So that was done. But after that, they had their fundraiser, and Mike Roberts had texted me. I don't think he knew that my son had passed away because he knows me real well, and asked me if I could raise $25,000. He says, can you do it? And I said, well, why is Mike calling me at such a time as this and me grieving over my son? So Mike probably saved my life, to be honest with you, and kept me from going into deep depression, and I thank Mike for that. And I went out with Mike. In 3 weeks, we raised over $35,000. I say over $25,000. The 35 is close to $37,500 when I went to the county commissioners and asked them for $10,000 donation, which they gave us a check the next day. And I've got copies of receipts in here. And I've got many people to thank, and I probably don't have the time to do what I want to do. And I thought I'd have more time. But, you know, the origins of that wall started in January 2nd, 2018, when I went to the county commissioners to get permission, because you've got to have a place to build it first. You've got to have permission. You have to have building permits. And I went to Chris Griffiths and Mr. Herring at the city. I had to find out about the deed, who owned the property with the county, leases it to the hospital. I had to do all this stuff. So I did the groundwork to get this wall done, but I expect it to be done the right way. That's the only way I know how to do it. My brother-in-law, Raymond Madry, tells me that I've got OCD, because everything I do, I want it right. That's the way I was raised by my daddy, a Korean War veteran. And I think that Butch's daddy was also a Korean War veteran or World War II veteran. I can't remember, Butch. Korean. Yeah. He knew my daddy well, and I knew your daddy. But anyway, you know, this is about the veterans, this memorial wall, and to me, more is about the ones that lost their lives and gave their lives for this country, for this state, for this county. That's what it's about to me, those men and women. And I knew some of the men that lost their lives. And you was at one of the memorials that I created in Scriven on Bill Royal Day. You were there. And you're the only one that's ever been able to corner me up and ask me questions, Bob, by the way, because you know I try to avoid the media. And I try to do that. But when I go over there, I see the Granite Inn. It's been there for 6 months. And I go over there every month. They haven't seen nobody over there in 3 months. Larry Brantley or anybody. And I'm not criticizing Larry. I'm just saying they need to stay on top of stuff like that. This is our sponsors' money that's created this to build this wall. And I'd like to read some of these names down so I don't get off track, if you don't mind while I'm on here. Thank some of the sponsors. Can I do that?
Sure. Go right ahead.
All right, I'll just start off with one of the first people I talked to was Mike Deal, by the way. To ask him, my question was to Mike Deal, has anybody ever questioned him about building a new granite memorial wall in Wayne County? He says, never. That was his words. He said, you find a place to build it? He said, I've got cash with the city to help you with it. So I did see Mike before he retired. He sent me to David Earl, and David retired, of course, and David's a friend of mine, so is Mike. And I never did pursue that money because I didn't like the way things were going with the committee, and I was actually told to leave at the last committee meeting I went to by Alan Brown. Told me I wasn't part of the committee, I need to leave. I was trying to add some names onto the wall that they didn't have, and they told me I couldn't put no more names on the wall. And by the way, there's 4 blank walls out there that I looked at Wednesday. There's plenty of room to add names to it, and I'm going to take names over there today and add them. So without their permission, I'm going to do it.
When you say committee, what committee are you talking about?
It's the Veterans Memorial Wall Committee
right.
That was formed by me and Joe and Mike originally. Then when my son passed away, it got taken over by Larry and other people. You know, and I thank them for what they've done. I really do. But everything they've done has fell in their lap, they should carry on and get it done the right way. Now, all I ask for is the names to be spelled correctly on it and put on the wall the way they should be. It's not an American Legion wall. It's the Wayne County Veterans Memorial Wall. You know, it's about the veterans. It's not about no service organization, even though I thank the American Legion for putting the names on that old wooden wall out there, or they wouldn't have anything based on to put the names on that new wall. They'd have to research all of them like Appleton County did and Ware County did, Brunswick did, Ludowici did, Mount Vernon, Georgia did. And I'm bringing up all these places. These are the places I went to get some idea of how to do this wall. And I had all that documentation. They didn't want to see it, though. You know, all they did is got the granite, and the granite is beautiful, don't get me wrong. Beautiful granite. People love it. But it's just a granite with the names transferred off the wooden wall to the granite. And there's ways to do things, and it needs to be done better than that. They don't need to erect them until it's done right, correctly. They do not need to put any wall up. There's 10 walls over there. They're 5 foot tall, about 7 foot long, 6 inches thick. That's how big they are. They have a 12 by 12 inch base. One of the bases is 16 foot long. The other one's 19 foot long. That one they got in the middle, and they want to put the sponsors on the middle wall. I don't like that. The killed in action, the POWs, the MIAs should be on that wall. They don't want to do that. They want to put the sponsors on the middle wall. It's not about the sponsors. It's just like Senator Blake Tillery told me on the phone when he sent me a check to my mailbox for $2,500. So did Bill Werkheiser, Meeks. They all sent money to my mailbox, and I put it in the bank. You know, and people trust me, but I try to do things behind the scenes where I don't stand out above the veterans. That's what I've tried to do. I don't try to get ahead of nobody else. But I hope that they listen to me, and I'm not trying to criticize it, but they need to go over there and see what's going on with this wall and make sure it's done the right way. Because once these names are engraved on that wall, you can't go back and fix a problem with it. You can't go back and fix the name if it's misspelled or put on there incorrectly. You can't do that. So it needs to be done right the first time. And I've tried to talk to them about it since last July. So it didn't make any difference. But anyway, I hope everybody's happy with it when they do see it, but I just hope they don't put it up until it's right. If it takes another year to do it right, or don't do it at all. Okay, I want to thank some of the sponsors here. First person I told you I talked to was Mike Deal. You know, he's been very supportive behind the scenes, too. Then the second people I talked to was the county commissioners, and they were all on board. I got criticized for that. Spoke out of turn in the newspaper, which I got permission to speak that time. to find out if they were going to approve building the wall at J.C. Hill, which people kind of criticized me about that. So I talked to Joe about the hospital. Thank Joe, too. I thank Joe a lot for what he's doing. All right, first of all, Navy SEAL, Howard Wasman, Dr. Howard Wasman, he's a friend of mine. I was criticized, and he was criticized for not stepping forward with donations, but Howard's been there from day one. He's been there from very day one. Now, he's got a business to run. He runs it professionally, and everybody should run their businesses that way, and the county should be the way he runs his business, the way I think. Chad Neesmith at Neesmith Chevrolet. Chad was on board since 2017. So was all these people I'm going to tell you. David Carter at Carter Dredging. Thank you, David, because your daddy was a World War II veteran. Bill Freeman at Great Southern Wood. He told me, when I asked him, he didn't hesitate. He wrote me a check right then for $2,500. He says, Dennis, I have a lot of people coming by here for donations to different charities. He said, this is one I don't have to think about. And he's a great man. I like Bill. Senator Blake Tiller, he told me, Dennis, I want to give you a check from me and my wife, but I don't want this to overshadow me and my wife's name, to overshadow what you are doing and what the Veterans Committee is doing with this memorial wall. State Representative Bill Werkheiser, State Representative Stephen Meeks, Joey Hires with Hires Paving over in Baxley, Georgia. He told me in 2018 the county commissioners had their part of their meeting they had to allow him, I guess, $1.2 million for paving contracts. And I called him when I seen that in the paper, and I asked Joey, I don't even know him. He was on the road to Atlanta. I asked Joey, I said, Joey, how about that $1.2 million that you're getting allotted to pay these roads? I said, how about giving us $100,000 of that money to help us with this memorial wall? He said, Dennis, I can't do that. He said, but how about $1,000? This was 2018. So me and Mike Roberts went over there and got $1,000 from him back last year sometime in July, I think it was. Thank you, Joey. He's from Appleton County, too, by the way. He's not from here. Freddie Swinson at Harris Real Estate. The people told me with the committee you'll never get money out of Freddie, but Freddie's been on board since 2018. Kathy Anderson with Harrison Real Estate. Thank you, Kathy. Reinhardt Funeral Home. Linda, William, and Leslie. They have all got names for me to put on that wall that's not on the old wall that I'm going to take over there today. There's copies of them, and Howard Jones also. Names there, that's Vietnam veterans, Korean War veterans. It's not on that wall. I'm going to take them today and put them on that wall. More names from Howard Jones. It's not on that old wall, and it's not on the new one either. None of these names are on the new wall, but they will be. Howard Jones Funeral Home. And one thing about Leslie at Reinhardt, she calls every year to the veterans' families that's passed away, and she invites them to go out to Memorial Day, and I thank Leslie for that. She's done a lot of work to help people come out to Memorial Day services and Veteran Day services. R&R Camper and Auto Sales, Jim Mitchell at Mitchell's Auto Repair, Terry at Western Sizzling. He's known what I've been doing because I've ate there about every day for the last 4 or 5 years, but he gave me a check with no problem, no hesitation. The Wayne County Commissioners and Ed Jeffers, all the commissioners have been on board since January 2nd, 2018, when I first presented this idea to them. They've all been on board. Congressman Buddy Carter, I heard him on the radio a while ago, and when I see him, I'm going to tell him don't take up all the time that I needed to come here and talk about this. But I've talked to Emmett Nolan about a donation from him because I've been over there about 4 times, and the last time I went over there, I left a copy of this memorial wall, which at that time didn't have nobody but Mike Roberts and my name on it. And I took him a laminated copy over there, and I said, "Are you a patriot, Congressman Carter? We need your help." But I hadn't heard from him, but I heard him speak at the Veterans Day ceremony they had at the hospital. But he won't give me an answer on whether he made a donation or not because he's afraid that somebody might go asking for more money for some other donation for some other project. But I like to know where I could actually thank him, for his donation, because all the other representatives and senators here in this district has given. Johnson Office Supply donations they've done with cards and these flyers I had made up. I had all these flyers made up and laminated in larger form. I think you've seen them before, Bob. David Earl Keith has been on board since the very beginning in 2018. Dewey Barber has offered to furnish flags, and Jim Boykin at Boykin Erectors, I talked with him yesterday. He's offered to furnish flagpoles, but he said that nobody's contacted him since Mike Roberts and Larry Brantley came by there about 3 months ago, and he hadn't seen nobody since. They should have had flagpoles out there already. They talk about doing the Memorial Day services out there. You don't even have a flagpole out there. There should have been an American flag, United States. I say United States flag because this is the United States of America. It's not America. It's not North America. It's not Canada. It's not South America. It's not Central America. This is the United States of America. And we need to look at this country like that, and it'd be a better country. We wouldn't have all these illegal people in this country. But they should have a flag out there, and they ought to call Joe and see if he'll allow me to go have a foundation put out there, an American flag, put out the United States of America flag.
Okay, we got a couple more minutes here.
Okay, that's just some of the people there. It's not all of them, and please forgive me if anybody's listening to me today that I know I left a lot of people out. Like Bill Cooksey back in 2020 when this COVID hit, I told him I was getting tired of being criticized in the newspaper and even on the radio. And y'all know yourself they've criticized me for not even being a veteran. I'm a United States U.S. Army Special Forces veteran. Ask Howard Wasden. He'll tell you.
Okay.
But anyway, I apologize for taking so long. I wish I had more time because there are a lot more people I'd like to thank, but I don't have the time to do that. But I wish I did if I could come back on here. But I really wanted to give an update on where the memorial wall really stands. All the walls, there's 10 walls that are ready, laying on the ground. They're waiting on the committee, the Veterans Memorial Wall Committee, to let them know what to put on the center wall. Because I have complained about them putting the sponsors on that center wall. I don't mind them being on a wall, but not the center wall. That should be left for the killed in action, the POWs, and the missing in action. And I hope they listen to me, and I hope they go forward with that part of it. You know, I'm not here to take credit for anything because it's not about anybody that's on that committee or about me. Now, God has sent me to do this project, I feel. It's just like former Representative Henson Mosley. Now, he wrote that book, God Knew, and former Representative Mosley and Senator Blake Tillery, they don't want to overshadow this project, but they've been in a lot of help in the background with this wall that people don't know about, especially former Representative Henson Mosley. He's a great man. He's helped me out with a lot of information and people that I need to talk to about this, but now, maybe I could come back some other time because I had a lot of stuff to say that I thought I'd have more time to, because I don't think I've been given equal time on the radio or the newspaper that all these other people's got that's criticized me, and I'm not here to criticize them. I'm here to update about the wall, and that's it. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
I just don't remember anybody coming out here and criticizing.
Saying anything. I'm trying to think. Anybody said anything negative when they were here talking about the wall. But, Dennis, we do appreciate you coming in and your effort on trying to secure everything for the memorial wall. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by First Southern Bank, by Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, by Murphy Builder Supply, and by O'Quinn and Associates.